Well, hello everyone. My name is Nazala Aghina with student number 090, and today I will talk about my favorite TV show titled XO Kitty. We will discuss about the cultural bumps and everything that Kitty, the main character, has to face and how the main character Kitty faces all the challenges in the show. So, XO Kitty. Kitty, the main character, is a girl who moves to South Korea to learn about her late mother's culture. Well, for her boyfriend too. But as we are going to talk about, these things don't go as smoothly as expected. One of the big challenges that Kitty, the main character, has to face is communication style. Kitty used to speak very direct there in America, but here in Korea, people communicate softly and carefully, which is very different and causes awkward for her. Another one's coming up. This one is with words. Kitty struggles with honorific. Sometimes she talks casually to the older people, such as her teacher and just the people that she has to respect, and sounds rude even though she doesn't mean it. Now we move to body language. Kitty loves hugging people, which is totally normal in US, but here in Korea, that's not really common. Something like bowing Korean culture, she doesn't know how and when to do it, which makes the situation more awkward. Another important thing to discuss is stereotype. At first, Kitty's seen as a clueless foreigner. It's because of her behavior, not knowing what she do in Korean culture, like we discussed about. But as the story goes on, her classmates started to understand and they're somehow connected. Kitty herself is trying to figure out who she is. She is American, but somehow she has this connection to Korean culture because of her mom. And her mates are juggling to their identities too. Some of them are too traditional, and some of them are somehow more globalized. In Korea, respect, age, and status is a big deal, and Kitty totally misses all of this in the first place. She doesn't bow to her teachers and even didn't use a formal language, which leaves her sounds and somehow looks disrespectful. If we can put the problems into a list, here are the problems or the challenges in the story. Kitty doesn't understand social hierarchy. Kitty is not familiar with the cultural context, and both Kitty herself and her friends rely on their stereotypes since day one. But as the story goes by, Kitty learns she very grows. She starts bowing, use formal language to other people, and just paying attention on what's normal in Korea, like what should do, what should not. One thing to make this go smoother is Kitty should have done a little research before she moved to Korea, and her friends and teachers and just people around her could have helped her out more once she got there to make these things smoother. And another idea is, of course, to have a bestie. She should be paired with someone who could guide her to Korean culture, which can make these situations less stressful for her, and it would have helped a lot. Talking about empathy, people around her could have been more passionate and kinder with her, and Kitty herself should be kinder to herself. Learning a new culture is not easy and quite tough, and it's okay to mess up sometimes. I remember the scene where Kitty didn't bow to her teacher, which makes her friends very upset, but it's because she doesn't know she had to. But as the story goes by, she learned, she very grew. But in the end, Kitty very grows. She goes from coolest foreigner to blending her American personality with an understanding of Korean norms. It's so satisfying seeing her learn and grow and just blend with the culture. Let's now discuss about Hofstede's framework. Kitty's American individualism clashes with Korea's group culture or collectivism. But day goes by, she finds a way to balance both and just work it out. Well, Kitty's journey is basically a bunch of cultural shock. Even she's super excited in the first place because she was curious and motivated. She started to frustrated when things just don't make sense, but she did adjust all of them naturally. The lessons we can take from XO Kitty is that communication across cultures is indeed isn't easy, but with big curiosity, as I said, respect, and of course passions, it's totally possible. And to be honest, it's actually worth the effort. Kitty's story is somehow relatable to anyone who's traveled, moved to a new place, or even just made friends from a different culture. It's a reminder to stay open minded and should have the willingness to learn from each other. So, XO Kitty is not just a fun teen drama, it's so much more than that. It's a great example of how cultural differences can bring people together when it handled with passions, pure efforts, and of course, respects. Thanks for listening, and I hope you'll think about these lessons every time you cross cultural boundaries. And see ya!